Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is TVP World. You're watching World News. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and these are the latest headlines. The shooter in Montenegro has died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds after killing at least 10 people and injuring 4 in the town of Cetinje in the western region of the country. The Interior Minister of Montenegro confirmed that the shooter attempted suicide as police closed in. He succumbed to his injuries while being transported to the hospital. The incident began following a bar brawl with the 45-year-old gunman killing members of his own family as well as a restaurant owner. In response to the tragedy, the Prime Minister of Montenegro is reportedly considering a nationwide ban on carrying firearms.
We have 4 severely wounded people at a Podgorica hospital. Doctors are fighting for their lives. All of them are on operating tables. We hope that the doctors will succeed in saving their lives and the victims will pull through. We will tighten restrictions on owning firearms. Tomorrow, we will likely hold a National Security Council meeting where we will consider all options, including a complete ban on carrying firearms. That is also on the table. This is a tragedy after which we must ask ourselves who should be allowed to possess firearms in Montenegro.
The death toll from the New Orleans attack has risen to 15, with the FBI uncovering further details in their ongoing investigation, including whether the suspect acted alone. Just hours before the attack, the assailant, identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, posted videos on social media claiming inspiration from the Islamic State terrorist organization and expressing a desire to kill. Jabbar, a U.S. Army veteran with over a decade of military experience, drove into a crowd of New Year's revelers on Bourbon Street around 3 a.m. local time. Inside the truck, investigators found an Islamic State flag, weapons, and what appeared to be a bomb. Authorities are also exploring potential links to the Las Vegas explosion, as both vehicles involved in the attacks were rented through the same car-sharing service.
The subject has been identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen from Texas. He was driving a Ford pickup truck, which appears to be rented, and we are working to confirm how the subject became in possession of this vehicle. An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons and potential improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were located in the subject's vehicle. Other potential IEDs were also located in the French Quarter. As of now, 2 IEDs have been found and rendered safe.
President Joe Biden has announced that American law enforcement is investigating possible links between the New Orleans and Las Vegas incidents. Addressing the New Orleans attack, the president reassured the public that the FBI is leading the investigation, with their primary objective being to ensure public safety.
The FBI is leading the investigation to determine what happened, why it happened, and whether there was any continuing threat to public safety. Additionally, we're tracking the explosion of a Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Law enforcement and the intelligence community are investigating this as well, including whether there's any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans. Thus far, there's nothing to report on that score at this time.
A driver pulled into the valet area of a hotel owned by Donald Trump, and moments later, the vehicle exploded. The incident occurred in Las Vegas at approximately 8:40 a.m. local time, drawing significant attention from the local community and beyond. An official familiar with the investigation told U.S. media outlets that the vehicle, a Tesla Cybertruck, contained a load of fireworks-style mortars. Authorities are still determining whether the suspect intended a larger explosion. A law enforcement source stated the futuristic pickup truck was rented via a car-sharing app. The rental company confirmed the same app was used for both the Las Vegas and the New Orleans incidents. Tesla owner Elon Musk called it a terrorist attack in a statement posted online. According to Las Vegas authorities, Elon Musk is assisting in an investigation into the explosion that involved a Tesla Cybertruck. During a press conference, Kevin McMichael from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police said the businessman shared videos from Tesla charging stations across the country with law enforcement and added that right now the main objective is to identify the subjects involved in the isolated incident.
At 8:40 a.m. Las Vegas time, we received a report of an explosion and a fire at the Trump Towers, the iconic hotel that you see behind me. We were told that a 2024 Cybertruck pulled up to the front of the hotel, and in fact I can tell you it pulled right up to the glass entrance doors of the hotel. We saw that smoke start showing from the vehicle, and then a large explosion from the truck occurs. There is one deceased individual in the Cybertruck, and I don't know whether it's a male or female at this time. We are investigating a number of leads, and I'm not prepared to release any of that information to you just yet. I can tell you that there are 7 victims right now that sustained injuries from the explosion. All of those have been reported to me at this point as minor injuries.
Poland assumed the rotating EU presidency on January 1st of 2025. With a focus on Ukraine, security and resilience, the country steps into a pivotal role during challenging geopolitical times. Correspondent Sasha Farbach reports from Brussels.
Geopolitical tensions abound from China and to Russia and everything in between. Also, challenges of how to keep the economy moving across the European Union. Now, Poland has been thrust into the spotlight, taking over the rotating presidency of the EU Council from January. But this has not dulled its ambitions. It's an agenda fully looking at how to bolster more on defense, providing more defense support and political support for Ukraine, and also bolstering the resilience of Europe as a whole. Now, there are many challenges, and this is a time to reshape policy, a key role in Europe. And now the question is, can Warsaw deliver on that in the next 6 months?
It won't be a presidency of business as usual. We need a strategic shift in thinking among all the members of the European Union and among the leaders.
Poland's leadership will play a vital role in advancing legislative priorities, coordinating responses to crises, and ensuring cohesion across the bloc. Much will need to be done, but the mood is already very positive, according to Kaja Kallas, the EU's chief diplomat.
High expectations for Polish presidency. I have already talked with the foreign minister Sikorski as well what we can do together in terms of developing Europe further and also to doing things for our own defense.
Leadership will be needed at a time when the EU faces internal divisions on issues like migration and economic governance, while external threats, including disinformation and hybrid warfare, grow. Simultaneously, Europe must navigate an unpredictable transatlantic relationship with Trump's shifting policies, raising concerns over NATO cohesion and U.S. support for European defense.
I have actually 2 principal expectations. One is exactly related with the maintaining the support of the European Union for Ukraine and delivering the message, and not only political messages through conference or press conference, but also to effective support in the field with money, with resources, with equipment, with all it was promised for the Ukrainians to continuing standing in front of the Russian aggression. The second one is related in a way with the enlargement process, because this new commission also address this issue, and Moldova is a country having done spectacular progress on this path, and I hope that the Polish presidency of the Council will encourage and will support this Moldova accession process.
Warsaw's presidency brings bold priorities aimed at reshaping the bloc's future. A major focus will be unwavering support for Ukraine through military aid and moving Kyiv closer to EU membership. The message will be loud and clear. Alongside tougher sanctions on Russia and Belarus, Warsaw believes this is essential in ensuring European unity.
We need to find more common thinking on defense spending. So pretty much more money about protection of the borders, external borders of the EU, because either we will have safe external borders or the borders within Europe will reappear, and about common purchasing of ammunition and other military equipment, because it simply makes sense.
The first 6 months of 2025 offer Poland a chance to lead at a pivotal moment for the EU, with a focus on Ukraine, resilience against authoritarian regimes, and bolstering European security. Warsaw aims to make a lasting mark. Its ability to unite member states during this volatile era will be closely watched. Sasha Farbach for TVP World in Brussels.
Romania and Bulgaria have officially joined the Schengen zone, ending border checks at land crossings. This marks the culmination of years of negotiation and patience.
They brought out the fanfare, and for good reason. Romania and Bulgaria are now not only members of the EU, but of the Schengen area as well. The air and sea borders were already included in the free travel zone, but now so are the land borders.
I'm from Blagoevgrad and I came here especially for this historic year for Bulgaria to see if everything is as they said it would be on TV with Schengen and free movement at the border.
Congratulations to both countries. You have shown vision, patience and determination. You belong in Schengen.
Accession negotiations have been tough for the European Union's two poorest member states. Since joining the EU in 2007, Bulgaria and Romania have faced opposition from other countries, particularly Austria and the Netherlands, riding on anti-immigrant sentiments. Both countries eventually dropped their opposition, with Austria doing so in November. The most noticeable difference is that queues such as these will no longer bother travelers and transporters, much to the joy of motorists and truckers.
This should have been done a long time ago, a very long time ago. The Austrians kept us out for nothing. For truckers this is normal, and this normalcy should have happened 10 years ago. There will be no more delays, no additional costs.
Removing queues at the border does more than spare the patience of those waiting. According to a study for the European Council, Bulgaria loses more than 800 million euros due to waiting times for trucks. For Romania, the estimate is even closer to 2.5 billion euros for truck delays alone.
They used to queue 25 kilometers medium every single day. I mean, imagine.
Joining Schengen is also of profound symbolic importance for the two countries. Former diplomat Eusebiu Slavitescu points out that they both have been meeting all the requirements set by the European Commission since 2011.
It wasn't such a big deal for other countries, right? For Romania and Bulgaria specifically, it became a big deal because of the humiliations.
But while the borders with Romania and Bulgaria are now open, the debate over border controls is far from over. In the past year alone, Germany, the Netherlands and France have reintroduced partial border controls. How permanent they will be remains to be seen.
The Ukrainian government has stopped Russian natural gas supplies transiting through Ukraine following the expiration of a 5-year agreement on January 1st. Correspondent Oz Chatterjee has the details.
As expected and as promised, Ukraine has indeed halted gas supplies coming from Russia, transiting through Ukraine into Europe. Now, this is significant. It's been causing consternation with the countries that receive that gas. It amounted to about 5% of the Russian gas, 5% of Europe's gas coming into Europe, and mainly catering to Austria, Hungary and Slovakia. And there's been a major dispute between Kyiv and Slovakia about this, particularly with Robert Fico coming out quite strongly, promising retaliatory measures if Kyiv followed through. While Kyiv has followed through now, the Energy Ministry publishing saying it was in the interests of national security. Zelensky also made comments about this, saying Moscow was turning energy into a weapon. He had some critical remarks, calling it the hysteria of politicians who prefer the mafia-style energy mafia that Putin is running. And say in this statement, Zelensky said, when Putin was presented with the Russian presidency more than 25 years ago, the annual gas transit through Ukraine to Europe totaled more than 130 billion cubic meters. Today, it equals zero. This is one of Moscow's biggest defeats. Indeed, this deal was worth at least $5 billion per annum to Russia. It was thought to be worth about 800 million to Ukraine each year. So they're going to be losing from this as well, but not as much as Russia's state energy company, Gazprom, is going to be losing from this. Now, there is still one more route into Europe. That's the Turk Stream pipeline that facilitates Russian gas into Europe. But as far as Ukraine is concerned, that's it. The deal has not been renewed, the 5-year deal. And going forward, Russian gas is not going to transit through Europe. How that affects Europe remains to be seen, whether that will drive up gas prices, energy prices in general, whether that's going to cause more problems, more friction between Fico and Zelensky, that remains to be seen. But for now, all we can see is that Ukraine definitely has followed through and that Russian gas is no longer transiting through Ukraine as the 3-year mark of the war approaches.
And with that, we conclude this edition of World News. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.